His entry on that. Yep. Jeff probably doesn't want to make contact right there, but you're kind of out of control on both sides of that. And unfortunately, they put Carson Hosmar hard into the outside.
You people that you do this, I don't know, but I just want you to be safe. You're talented people and you're great people and great Americans. Have a good day, have a lot of fun, and I'll see you later.
I'm being your favorite driver.
Nope. I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
And we're muted. Let's go. Second episode in. And we muted at the start. Let's go. That's how we do it on the good lane over at Syndicate Sports. This is just another Sunday. Welcome in. Welcome all. Circuit of the Americas. We're going to do this fast. Race coverage starts at 3:30. I'm starting the show late. I had to get everything together. My bad. That's on me. Thank you for being here. Sean Franklin and everybody else is going to be watching this live or on the replay crew. We just want to go over quickly because, like I said, race coverage is starting soon. We had an race yesterday during the day, and then an amazing races last night. I don't know if anybody here, Sean Franklin or others, if you watch the Cars Tour. If you're not, you're missing out. Like, that is some amazing racing. And last night, Connor Hall, his debut for Junior Motorsports, he got the win. And I'm going to switch this camera view around eventually. But right now, microphone's over here, camera's over here, so that's on me. That's my bad. And no, I have not played. I've played some of those Arkhams, Sean, but not all of those. Right now, we're talking about NASCAR, and we're going to get into it. Let me turn this music down real quick, just a little bit. There we go. And it's at the end of it anyway. So, quickly here, Connor Hall wins for Junior Motorsports. If you were watching the intro, you saw that nice 88 with the Bass Pro Shops and the tracker. I don't know what's going on here and why this isn't focusing in. There we go. Connor Hall. Oh my goodness. Let me get those results up here and add it to the show and show him. Boom. There, Bass Pro Shops. He had that nice 88. It's honestly amazing to see Junior Motorsports do so well in one weekend. They win the Cars Tour, and then they also won the Xfinity Series with Connor Zilich, which we'll get into. But I just want to give Connor Hall his shout out. Winning the race, kind of winning it handedly, and making a name for himself with his first start. And seeing seeing these two cars for the Cars Tour for Junior Motorsports in the garage together is so nice. You got the Juniors 8 and then Juniors 88 right next to each other, and the kind of same schemes with the tracker boats and the Bass Pro Shops. I wouldn't mind if we went away from the white, maybe went orange Junior, but I'm sure it's just cheaper to put the stickers and decals on a white car. So I get it. You're just trying to go fast. You don't really care about the looks that much. But no, I just wanted to show everybody Junior Motorsports, they're doing work. And number 8, I believe. Let me go down to the results. So just skip the whole story here and go down to results. Caden Quapple. He's the next up-and-comer for we see Carson Quapple battling out for the lead in the Xfinity Series race against Connor Zilic, the whiz kid. But his younger brother, Caden Quapple, is obviously racing on the same Junior Motorsports team, just down a different league, if you will. And he got 6th last night in his debut for Junior Motorsports. So not a bad outing. Junior Motorsports top 10, almost a top 5 for both of those cars. Connor Hall up here and Caden Quapple down here. Now, if you guys want more coverage on other teams, I'm not really looking at everybody else, to be honest. I know Mini Tyrell, he's got some fans, and a lot of these people obviously do have bigger fans, but I'm a fan of Junior Motorsports, so I'm going to be following those names and following those people. So Caden Quapple, 6th place, his debut. Connor Hall with that nice win, and got the pop the bubbly in victory lane. So shout out Connor Hall. And let's move on now to the Xfinity Series race. If you're wondering, where's the Truck Series? They're off this week. They got a weird schedule. They're on and off, and then I think they maybe run like half the races or a third of the races that the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series do. So you'll see a lot of people dive in and out, and that's what gives my favorite of the Truck Series. Stuart Friesen, couldn't think of his name for a second because I didn't hear it all weekend. My favorite in the Truck Series, Stuart Friesen, gives him an opportunity to race the modifieds and things like that. And for right now, I'm sure he's just taking an off break, an off weekend, and chilling out this early in the season, because it is currently like 10 degrees, 15 degrees and windy where we live. So there's definitely no modified racing up in the Northeast. But that's enough of that. So Truck Series, they were off this weekend. Xfinity Series, Cup Series, they're on at C.O.T.A, Circuit of the Americas. You might hear C.O.T.A. When I first started hearing that, I was like, huh? I'm like, what are you guys even saying? Where is that? Circuit of the Americas. And they don't go around the South America, North America, and Central America. Nah, it's just in Texas, Austin, Texas. It's actually a really cool course. And if you watch the race today, if you watched the race yesterday, turn 1 is just what a monument to racing. Just up a giant hill and then have basically a hairpin turn. It's not a complete hairpin, but it basically is a clothespin. I don't know, a clothespin turn. Can we call it that? I'm coining it right now. Clothespin turn. And that is like a spot where you see people go 6 wide, 5 wide. You see people push others out of the way. They'll dive in and do a crossover move. There's so much action in turn 1, and it goes on to turn 2. If you watch the intro, you'll watch the outro, you'll see they did a little drone footage. I wish they didn't do so many spinny, cool things to make it look nice, but and just did an actual drone shot of the whole entire course to give you a bird's eye view of all the turns. But it's a fun track to race, and it gives you a lot of fun racing to watch. Over the last couple of years, though, the NASCAR Cup Series and the Xfinity Series racing the same course that Formula One and Indy races and all the other GP and stuff race that are usually racing road courses. That course is 3.6 miles long. The course that they're racing this year has been shortened, and the theory is to give fans a chance to see their drivers more often, because the lap is obviously doesn't take as long since it's less mileage. But I think it also gives the drivers It doesn't allow them a chance to just lull to sleep. There's no long straightaways really. Not as long as there were. The hairpin corner is gone out of this, and it's a different like right angle corner. I think it gives the course more action, and if it wasn't something that they already did at COTA for other races, I think it's so smart to do it now for the Cup Series because you want more action. They kind of have like a competition committee just like the NFL does in the NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, Truck Series, ARCA Series, all that. They even have an Advanced Auto Parts Weekly series that I just found out about. But they do so much to heighten up the action and the competitiveness and make it better for the fans. On top of that, like that's what their core mission is: make it more exciting for the fans while also being safe. And cutting off a giant part of this course somehow does it. So shout out to NASCAR for doing that, and shout out to COTA for COTA Circuit of the Americas and Echo Park for facilitating that and making it happen. Because what I watched yesterday was one hell of a race. It wasn't like you go down pit road and you still have 5 minutes to make a change and everything. No, you had to be fast, and if you had a penalty, it would dock you, but not as much, and you could still get back in the race, as we saw with Connor Zilic yesterday. Goes down pit road while it's closed because a caution just came out. That's a penalty. Sends you to the back of the field, and then he was in first when he did that, mind you. And then drives all the way back up to first, battles his teammate, and it was a little dicey there, but they're both going for the win. Shout out to Carson Quapple, and who's also another junior motorsports driver. They did it as clean as they could, and Connor Zilic, with damage on his car, pulls off the win. I don't know if you see the last lap. It says 102.33, 101, and he was just faster than everybody. His best speed compared to second is 0.5 faster miles per hour. Like that's a lot when you're going 100 miles an hour, however fast they are through in the turns. And best speed is just weird. That can't be miles per hour because they're definitely going over 100 in the straightaways. But shout out to Connor Zilic, the whiz kid. And it's not his first start at COTA, but his first start in the Xfinity Series was at Watkins Glen, a road course. Pulled off the win there. I wasn't at that race, but I went to the race the next day, and I was still kind of like, wow, I can't believe, I think he was 17 back then. I can't believe he won in his first race. And then his first start at COTA wins there. I mean, in practice, he was a whole second faster than everybody else. And he's making his Cup debut. What? An 18-year-old making his Cup debut today. And he's starting back in 14th, but he wins this race, right? Wins handedly, mind you, over William Byron, who's a NASCAR Cup Series phenom himself from iRacing. Beats out Sam Mayer, beats out all these people. Austin Hill, Christian Eckes, Jesse Love, Ross Chastain, who was up there and doing a one-off. Not a one-off, I guess just a one-off for this weekend. He's going to be racing for Junior Motorsports a couple of more times this season. But he beats all these people handedly, finishes the race, and in his post-race interview, while he's still on the track next to his car that's smoking after a burnout, he's like, yep, looking forward till tomorrow. It's like, dude, what? He's thinking about tomorrow already. This kid is nuts, and I have a lot of hope for him. I'm really excited to watch him race today. And obviously, Red Bull sees a lot in him too. He's sponsored by Red Bull. He's a Red Bull athlete. And his car today is sponsored by Red. Like, they put out the money to sponsor his whole car today. So I'm excited, to say the least. He's racing for Trackhouse tomorrow, which he got a little experience racing with a teammate, we're going to quote unquote, because it's just for one race, but they raced yesterday together. Ross Chastain is a Trackhouse driver in the Cup Series. This kid's confusing for anyone who doesn't know, but the Cup Series drivers, they often go down a level or down a couple levels and just race a race just to stay fresh, just to have fun. We love to race. So Cup Series drivers, especially on a new course, a lot of them, as you see, William Byron did too, will race the new course if they're not used to it, just to get familiar with the turns. Even though they're going to be racing a different car the next day, it's still good to get familiar with it, right? So Ross Chastain, a Trackhouse driver, raced for Junior Motorsports yesterday, and Connor Zilic is a Junior Motorsports driver full-time. So they raced together yesterday, and today for the Cup Series, they're racing together again. Did we put that all together? Is that easy to understand? I hope so. So we're going to move on from Connor Zilic, his win. Junior Motorsports showing out all day yesterday, not only in the Car Series Tour, but obviously also in the Xfinity Series. I wish they had a Cup Series team so bad. I would cheer them on like no end. But we're going to go to the starting top 10 for the Cup Series race, if it lets me. C.O.T.A Cup lineup. There we go. Let me click on that. There's Connor Zilic's car right there. And we'll let this load in real quick. So the story of the weekend, 2311. If you don't know, let me tell you, that's Michael Jordan's team, 23. The 11 part of that is Denny Hamlin, a driver owner. I love that. I love that they do that. You can't, it's not like semi-pro with Will Ferrell where you get a player coach. Nah, in NASCAR, you actually get driver owners. So it's a lot of fun. And we'll see 2311 start on the front row. Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace. Now, the driver owner part of Denny Hamlin, if you didn't know, again, 2311, he doesn't race for his own team. He's under contract with Joe Gibbs, has been for a long time, and I think he will be for a couple more years. Definitely this year. He's still racing for Joe Gibbs, and his team is on the front row. Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace. Sometimes they'll sport a third driver. I'm not sure if they are this race, to be honest. But it's the first time they've ever done it. And I think it might be the first time at a road course, too, that a team has done it. I could be completely wrong about that. But we'll go down through the top 10 real quick. Give me a sec. Had to wet the whistle real quick. But we got Bubba Wallace starting second on the outside of Tyler Reddick. They're a funny group to watch, Tyler and Bubba. It's kind of like they need a little sitcom that NASCAR should produce for them. Just follow them around if 2311 isn't doing that already, because they qualified together. It was a weird thing to watch qualifying, but the two cars would qualify together kind of, and they followed each other's line, and Tyler was like, I was trying not to mess him up. Bubba to Tyler was like, I was trying not to mess you up. So that's kind of funny. Tweedledee, Tweedledum moment right there. But behind there, we got the story before qualifying going into this weekend was Chase Elliott, because he's a road course ringer, as it were. And he's been good at this track, and he hasn't won in a while at a road course. But he's got a lot of wins at road courses. If he wins today, it could tie him with Tony Stewart, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, and I should really look that up before I start talking about it. But Chase Elliott is amongst the greats. He's in the top 4, definitely, all time for NASCAR drivers in road course wins. So starting third there, that's big time. That is big time. Now, behind him, Carson Hocevar. That's been the talk of the town, too. Last week at Atlanta and at Daytona. He's not making a great name for himself if you want to ask the rest of the field. If you want to ask Kyle Busch, if you want to ask Dave Blaney, there's been radio moments that you've probably seen over the Twitterverse or just on Fox or on other channels. They're not happy with him. And according to Carson Hocevar, there's only been a couple of negative conversations that he's had, obviously with those drivers, right? But he's had a lot of positive conversations. Apparently, people telling him, "Keep doing what you're doing. Keep being aggressive. Sometimes you got to be selfish." Which one of those people was Hall of Famer Mark Martin. Cool, calm, collected Mark Martin. You wouldn't expect that from him, but that's somebody. He's like, I didn't know. One of the unexpected conversations I had was with Mark Martin. It's like, what? He's calling Carson Hocevar? So shout out to Carson. Here he is at a road course after doing well last week, almost getting a win at Atlanta, quote unquote super speedway. And at a road course, completely different style of racing, completely different skill set, completely different car setup. And that's probably why he's got car in his name. Carson Hocevar starting 4th place. Then you got Daniel Suarez right behind him. These two guys, Daniel Suarez, Shane Van Gisbergen, making up row 3. They're the road course ringers that came in and had to prove themselves at ovals, right? But Shane Van Gisbergen is doing that. He should be the clear favorite for this race, but the other guys in front of him just make you wonder, right? But Shane Van Gisbergen started his first race at the Chicago Street Course, if you don't know, and he's racing 88. It's so funny to see him in the 88. That's Junior's old number, Dale Junior's old number, if you didn't know. But Shane Van Gisbergen, first start at Chicago Street Course, wins it, right? In the rain. Then the very next season, which is this season, or maybe it wasn't in the rain, but this season, he goes ahead and gets his full ride in the NASCAR Cup Series car. First road course race of the season. He doesn't even qualify in the top 5. So shout out to me. That makes me happy, right? Shout out to the NASCAR regulars for all being in the top 5. Even Daniel Suarez, I'll count him because he's been in the Cup Series for multiple seasons now and has won Atlanta, won other races. So Shane Van Gisbergen, wow. I just call him SVG like everybody else does. I don't know why I say his whole name. SVG down here in 6th. Got something to prove this weekend, so be watching out for him. He's my one to watch today. I just gave it away. I got 2 one to watch. I'll give that away in a little bit. But we got Kyle Larson, the NASCAR phenom, wins at everything, wins in sprint, can win in Indy, and you might race the Indy 500 again this year. But Kyle Larson down there in 7th, next to Kyle Busch, who is not happy with Carson Hocevar, who's in front of him. So that should be interesting to see if he can catch up to Carson and pay him a little, reminder of what happened last week. He's tell number 77 he's pulled that move about 100 effing times. That's what Kyle Busch said over the radio last week. And then behind them, Kyle Larson, the row of Kyles, Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch, you got Ross Chastain in the number 1, who I just talked about. He's starting 9th, which is hilarious because he raced as the number 9 car yesterday. Starting 9th, Ross Chastain, and then Todd Gilliland down there in 10th spot. It's easy. It's easy to forget who's down here after the top 10 because it's a road course, right? But things get shuffled a lot on restarts. People are going to be making mistakes because they're overly aggressive at the first road course race. There's more laps though compared to 60. I think it was 62 laps with the full course at COTA the last few years to now having 90 laps with the shorter course. So there's going to be a little bit more time to make mistakes. And like I said, more time to be overly aggressive. I think these restarts are going to be wild today at COTA with that first turn. And the S is coming up right after that. So don't forget about Denny Hamlin and AJ Allmendinger right after. Denny Hamlin's been getting a lot better at road courses, obviously. The old man of the pack, Ty Gibbs, looking for his first win. And down here, the one to watch for real, Connor Zilic. Talked about him ad nauseum in the Xfinity Series races and everything that he did. Now he's racing the Red Bull Chevy. Love it. 14th. So he's going to be on the move. I believe he was top 5 in practice over the weekend. So that's a lot to look for. Connor Zilic, I'll be watching him, and obviously SVG starting 16th. the teammates, SVG, Ross Chastain, and Connor Zillich down here in 14th. They're going to be the ones to watch. That's going to be the people I'm going to be looking for. Now, last week I told you Ford, top manufacturer, best bet. I think the best bet, top manufacturer, Chevy this week. I know I see the Toyotas up here and then 1 and 2. That's okay. That's okay. Look at underneath them. All these Chevys. And then we got the first Ford in 10th with Todd Gilliland. All Chevys. And then we got Toyota, Chevy, Toyota, Chevy, 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 Chevy. We're going Chevy today. Top manufacturer Chevy. That's your best bet. And the ones to watch, SVG, Connor Zillich. That's it. That's all I got for you today. And we're going to enjoy this C.O.T.A race. We're going to probably talk about it during the week. We're going to do a little review. We're going to have that up for you that we didn't have this week, but we're going to do it this week because Connor Zillich is just a phenom, man. And I really want to see what he does. And I'm going to have a lot to say about how he does. So we will be back. Don't you worry, everybody. We'll be back during this week. And I hope you guys all watch this race. You can watch it on Fox. I recommend you go online and maybe search for some streams so you don't get those commercials. Definitely. And unfortunately, one thing I think I'm going to be forced to do, freaking get Max, because they have in-car cameras. And again, there's no commercials. And you get the synced up or semi-synced up car audio too with the in-car camera of the driver. You'll get the driver audio, so you hear all the crew. Excuse me. So that's a whole nother viewing experience. If I can watch that as I'm watching the race, I think I kind of want to do it. I heard everybody talk about it who's a content creator or reporter, and I think I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and get Max, but it's only for that. All right, it's only for that. Just because they got freaking NASCAR content, they got me. What do you want me to say? All right, but everyone, turn on Fox right now. Go on NASCAR.com. You can go on PRN or MRN, I believe, and listen to the radio on there. But again, if you don't want commercials, I recommend you find a stream somewhere. That's a friend told me that. I didn't tell you that. Okay. Everyone have a great rest of your day, great weekend, and we'll see you soon. All right. Peace.